The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show, brought to you with Levi Solicitors. They're good, aren't they?
Superb.
Why?
You know why by now.
Right, it's the 10% discount on your legal
10%
fees?
discount, the online appointments you can book, the wills, the probate, the conveyance, and it's all there for you.
It is all there for you. Thank you, Michael.
It's all right, no worries.
LeviSolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball to take advantage of the 10% discount on your legal fees. Rob's here as well. Part 3 of the show has been moved to part 2 this week, which is all very confusing because there's no preview, because there's no game. So we're doing heroes and villains right now then. And first of all, the Ken Bates Villain of the Week award. Oh, Michael's playing something off his laptop. What happened there, Michael?
Professional negligence, is that?
Yeah, sorry about that. It was the Burnley man that we sometimes watch popped up. Someone had tagged me in something on YouTube. I don't know what it's about. I'll have a look at it later.
So just this is how professional we are within this organisation.
There might have been some important news that needed checking on.
While me and Rob are dedicating ourselves speaking to you, Michael's just on YouTube watching cat videos or whatever. The Ken Bates Villain of the Week, or Ken surfaced, doesn't he, this week?
Has he ever? It's a 3-hour extravaganza, apparently.
Yes, it's on some sort of Chelsea podcast, isn't it? Which I think what we're going to do is, so you don't have to sit through it, we're going to make Michael do that.
Yeah.
And pull out the best bits, and we'll maybe propaganda it in a future week.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
it could even be an episode of its own.
Because it's a Chelsea podcast, I don't imagine there's much Leeds in it, but there will be some Ken stuff, so I'll just try and find the bits where he's talking about Arabs.
Right.
When you said it was 3 hours long, I thought it'd been on the Joe Rogan show or something.
Oh, God, can you imagine?
Talking about having ayahuasca or something like that.
Well, like when I edit this, you can shrink the silences down, so if there's any long pauses, it shrinks them all down.
I'll give it a pass, actually, for Ken.
I do wonder if they've not bothered doing that with Ken, and 2 of those 3 hours are just Ken's thinking time.
Yeah. But we'll see, won't we? He's always got something to say, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got opinions, as Ken.
Yes, opinions with a capital O. This is his award anyway, Villain of the Week. People have annoyed us basically in the last 7 days. We have resurrected Moscow's Book of Petty Grievances. We don't have the book, we don't have Moscow, but we can still add petty grievances to this weighty tome. Who are we putting in for the petty grievances this week?
Korea White's Josh nominating Gareth Southgate for not putting Jack Harrison or Luke Ayling in the England squad, which I agree with. If I was the England manager, it's one of those things that if you like playing Football Manager or whatever, and you get the England job and you just put all your favourite all your Leeds players in. But it was only a couple of years ago. It was the end of that first season in the Premier League. There was talk of Ayling, wasn't there? Sort of been on the fringes of the England squad. That would have been amazing, quite frankly.
Well, as far as I can see, Connor Cody mainly gets in for being a vibes man. And he's not half as nice as Luke Ayling.
Do you think Ayling would be a bit much?
No, he'd be great in there.
No, he's old now in footballer terms, is Luke Ayling. He's mature, isn't he? In the sense, not as in old men in this podcast terms.
No,
but within the football sphere.
How did you feel about that, by the way? As being lumped in with one of the 4 old men?
Which was the start of the propaganda episode. We played the clip out. It was some Wolves child on its TikTok channel or something. Described us as 4 old men on a Leeds podcast.
I mean, I must admit, I think you often overplay how young I actually am. But yeah.
But you are 29 now, you just turned?
29, yeah.
Rob, I wish I was 29.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Although you're older than I was when we started doing this.
God, really?
Isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, I do think I've probably been spending too much time. You miserable bastards.
Sun's out today. We go outside. Get
some Stuart Rain this afternoon.
Get some vitamin D in. Johnny Thrash wants to nominate Junior Firpo for making him lose his voice because he shouted so loud at the glorious bastard.
That was in the Southampton game
after he scored. Yeah.
And it's made everyone think he's got COVID, so no one wants to go near him, which is not really fair on Junior, is it? Keep scoring, I would say. Just
enjoying his renaissance as well. So it is only a petty grievance. Can't go in the actual genuine candidates column for this award. No Leeds nominations at all this week in the genuine candidates at all. None. 0.
Wow.
That's the beauty of winning it. I do like when we're just nice to our own footballers. Like, I don't want to tear my hair out at Rasmus Christensen or Rodrigo. I like enjoying them.
A few people did slag off Rocker in the comments, didn't they? But I think he managed to avoid villain nominations.
I mean, for God's sake, we won, didn't we? So
fine, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fine. So Wolves got nominated by Wedge, the players, the staff, the fans, the stadium, and the animals.
Yeah, so all the animals as well. Yeah, sick of them. Right, they're always in our bins. the old Wolves.
They've reintroduced him to Bradford, haven't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure they ever went away.
Try and keep the population down. Just made it a bit more interesting.
They're on about building a big wall right around the city as well.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Letting some Wolves loose in it. Lopetegui, Johnny, Wolves fans, as an extension of Wolves in general, all nominated from that perspective. And also we've got, are we calling him Wolves? He's not technically Wolves. He falls outside the bracket of Wolves.
David
I think,
Phillips.
Yeah.
He's definitely Wolves. Did you hear his commentary?
No, I mean, he was biased towards Wolves, but I don't necessarily think we can lump him in as part of the Wolves contingent. Can we?
He did say we, didn't he? Like we didn't get the penalty
fine.
or something.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he was talking from the point of view of what they would be saying to the referee.
No, I don't believe you.
But it was fairly clear where he was heading with that commentary.
I mean, I don't think we can read out the actual comment, but I do like the name David Phillips sniffs dirty knickers.
May or may not be true.
No, I think it's probably definitely not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well, I mean, it sounds like you could really damage someone's reputation by making that sort of accusation about them. So we don't want to do that, do we?
What's wrong with sniffing dirty nick?
You tell me what's right about it.
Is that the next line of merch we're selling?
Hey, people do that, don't they?
Like an OnlyFans kind of...
Pod One. If anyone wants my Pod One pants, do get in touch.
You don't normally wear them.
That's true. Pod One jeans. I've got
You don't normally wear them.
yeah, etc.
Yeah. Lopetegui.
Socks too. We'll do socks.
Yeah, let's quickly move it on. Lopetegui, or as Dom calls him, Julien Lopetegui. Tia, as in
it
cry.
Just about works, doesn't it?
No, not really.
Yeah, because I never thought I'd dislike a Wolves manager as much as the last bloke. But it was a disgrace with his VAR signal and his crying and complaining.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, we would have snapped their arm off if we'd have got Lopetegui. Like, if we'd have replaced Marsh with Lopetegui during like the World Cup break or whatever, you'd have gone, yes!
Mind you, if they'd replaced him with his polo shirt alone, his polo neck alone, I might have gone, it's fine.
You've got real misgivings about that, haven't you?
But his jumper.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit weird.
I agree with you on this, and I'm not really sure why, but it was like when that guy Southampton have hired, Ruben Sellers, wore a turtleneck. And I was like, come on, man, who do you think you are? You can't be doing that.
Are they all trying to look like Ten Hag, do you think?
Yeah, probably. There's a lesson in that, actually.
What's that?
Wear a turtleneck, you get beaten.
Right.
He's got 100% record against turtlenecks, hasn't he? Have you? Think of it that way. Makes you think.
You don't get that start, do you, usually?
Or part of the conspiracy, is it to hide the join because he's a robot?
Wow.
Sent to relegate Wolves.
Makes you think.
Could be.
Well, Johnny is doing.
And he was probably, because of the rain, he was malfunctioning, which is why he ended up by a monitor watching Johnny try to break Luke Ayling's leg, shouting he got the ball, apparently. Which he should have been sent off for that. You can't go over and shout at a referee watching a foul, which he apparently did.
Are you advocating for more red cards?
For him, yes.
Right. Good. Johnny, now, God, my brain's just sort of made a short circuit between Lopetegui, Robot, Johnny
5.
Number Johnny 5 from
Short Circuit,
and the VAR monitor.
It's all come together. Makes you think.
Wow. Johnny is mentioned by a couple of people. Sean, Bay Area Brandon, not having him.
Yeah, unintentional but dangerous. Glad the bill was okay though. Plus he scored so he can fuck off, which is also true. Because it was quite good because that's going to be completely lost because all the Wolves fans were furious about him still, even though he scored a really nice goal.
Yeah, it was a good finish.
And also he deserves a nomination as well for he was the one complaining when Rasmus scored as well. I know we were saying after the Ayling goal, several of their players seemed to be wanting a free kick for something. They were all moaning about it. When Rasmus got the ball off him, he turns to the linesman as well and he's going, just...
Have you tackled me?
He's been too rough there. He was stood really close. And it went through my legs, so just disallow it, please.
He's only just come on, ref. I didn't know he was there.
That's not fair.
I won't watch it.
Anyway.
So he gets there.
And Dave Phillips is mentioned as well, which we are definitely lumping in with Wolves. Based on the number of nominations, he should be favourite for this award. Is there a case you can make for anybody but him?
Chelsea and Spurs get a nomination.
Are these the
non-Wolvesy ones?
Yeah,
a couple of extras down the bottom there because they did let us down a bit. I mean, Spurs, come on, you've got to hold on to that.
Yeah, but Conte's rant was quite funny at the same time.
Yeah,
I just like how everyone's really surprised at it. It's like, have you not seen this guy before?
This is what happens.
Yeah,
it's not often his fault, is it, Conte?
No,
that's one thing you will say. He tends to just get annoyed at other people.
Out of the other nominations, I mean, what's Ryan himself done?
Because he had a meltdown. Let me read this myself. It never got mentioned on the show, but this is his own feedback.
Right.
I had a meltdown 2 weeks ago and lamented in this very feedback that we hadn't signed someone like Craig Dawson, and how wrong I was. He's fucking gash and got hooked at half times to save him. So maybe Arthur does have some sort of a clue.
He doesn't. He puts in brackets there. We're all being nice this week. We're all healing. We're all friends. Hands across the aisle and all that. Who's having it? It's Phillips, isn't it?
It's going to be Phillips.
Yeah. He was the one. Normally, I would put him in petty grievances.
Yeah, but he mentioned the penalty a dozen times.
Yeah, and I was going to say he ruined my enjoyment of what was an otherwise relaxing day.
And also, I think I know the Wolves fans in the stadium weren't pleased with the referee, but for anyone watching on the radio, as we were, he's radicalised a lot of Wolves fans there into believing these conspiracy theories by mentioning it, by constantly bringing it up. Just in their ear going, that was a penalty though, wasn't it? Think about that. I know Luke Ayling's just scored fine, but what about that penalty, eh? What about that penalty? Why don't you pay to come to my seminar about penalties? And I'll subscribe to my Patreon.
Right, Dave Phillips it is then. Congratulations, Dave. Well done. Leeds hating bastard. Player of the year, where are we then with this? So we are getting our TSB Plus members to give us scores out of 10 for all the players across the course of the season and then tracking it, and we will in the end award somebody with player of the season at the minute.
Hopefully Willie Nonto, because we've decided he's the most likely to turn up.
Yes. Well, Willie Nonto is leading the player of the year thing. Where did he score in this? So we got 7.9 in this, but he wasn't the top scorer. He was outscored by Jackie with over 8. Javi got even higher than Jackie, and Max Verber was your man of the match.
Wobber. Please call him Wobber.
Max Wobber at 8.2 out of 10. Paul Brendan bringing up the rear, Mark Rocker, Weston McKennie, which goes to show, doesn't it, as you mentioned, I think it was on Propaganda, Michael, that the midfielders are kind of not that great in this particular game.
I mean, the Dawson mention, we got Wobber instead, didn't we? And good. Really good player.
It's one of those with Craig Dawson where I didn't actually know he played for Wolves until we played against him. It's like, oh, right, he's there, is he?
He was one of those people you always saw doing quite well for West Ham, but you kind of imagine no one would ever buy him. Because they'd be like, well, it's Dawson, isn't it? Not gonna spend actual money on him. If he's already there,
generic English footballer.
If he's already there, he's kind of useful to have, but not gonna pay money for him.
One thing to note is that Christensen got his best score of the season by a massive margin of 0.01.
But his previous best was Chelsea at home, which was a complete aberration on the scores because everyone did brilliantly. I think Marsh got like 9.6 or something ridiculous on there. Everyone got a really good score because we beat Chelsea 3-0, which was fair enough.
Rasmus got 7.4 in this one. On to the player of the year. Out in front is, Willie. He's the only one with an average over 7.15. Javi doing well, 6.98. Verber,
not a player, so he can't win it, but interesting to see him in there.
Verber now in second place, players-wise. Tyler, Melier, Mateus Click, because his average has now been baked in. He's going to be forever hovering around that, which means that he's unlikely to win it. But it would be funny if he did. But it would also probably mean we have to go down in order for that to happen.
Yeah, I've been hoping for that for a few months, and then he thought, it's probably best he doesn't. But he's in the top 5, so I think that's a good end to the season for him.
Gitana Baradi, Hero of the Week, somebody who has made us happy this week. Loads of nominations for Leeds candidates. So they are, in no particular order, Wobber, Ayling, Nonto, Jackie, Rodrigo, Melier, Jackie again.
Sorry about that.
Well done, Michael. Too busy on YouTube watching cat videos. And Javi as well gets a mention. So of your Leeds candidates, any threads you'd like to pull on?
I mean, Ayling did get the most nominations just because everyone loves him.
Is that born out of sentiment? Because Wobber's got man of the match.
Who cares? What is football without sentiment?
This is true. Do you consider yourself a sentimental old fool?
With football, yeah. Because if you just wanted to watch the best team, you'd just support Man City, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I do. I do like it when you see like fans on Twitter like, you can't be sentimental in football. And you think, well, why are you a fan?
You kind of bit, like not to the extent that he's still there in another 10 years' time.
I disagree. I actually said through the week that I would constantly play him at right back until the day he dies. I love him so much.
Jake from Florida captures it quite well. He says, it's got to be Luke Ayling. Whenever football seems stressful and makes me sad, Bill reminds me it's just a game. He brings me joy. He's a Leeds legend. And it is just a game.
It is.
Stupid.
It is. But to see his face, there's a great photo, by the way. Is it on the match report on the website that was captured? And it's basically an extreme close-up of Bill's face, sort of just looking joyous and slightly alarmed by the away end after he scored. Beautiful picture, well worth checking out. Have a look at the squareball.net. But yeah, the combination of the goal, the repeated celebration, just the look on his face, the look on his bloody beautiful face.
I think that's the thing with football, because it does often seem really serious, and some really good players seem like they never get any enjoyment out of it. Like Cristiano Ronaldo never struck me as someone who actually particularly enjoys football for the majority of the time. Like
he's going to be hating every minute of being in Saudi Arabia, but hating the fact that he needs it to stat pad his way to the highest scorer ever or whatever, isn't it? He's completely chewing
scored a free kick this past week.
Did you see that? It was a three-man wall, wasn't it? That jumped
straight
out of the way.
through the wall and then straight through the goalkeeper.
How does
celebrated
he do
it like a Champions League winner.
Did you see the fans singing Messi's name at him? And he had a bit of a strop. It was really funny. It was great.
So funny. The fact that somebody can be so thin-skinned is great.
Yeah, he is really miserable out there, just collecting his massive wage, and he's still just rotten to the core.
I think on the Bill Ayling thing, actually, because I think with Ayling you kind of construct a story around him. You think, well, he's this happy because his career looked like it was probably not going anywhere for a bit. He was at Yeovil for ages. He was at Bristol, kind of doing all right. He never probably thought he'd be a Premier League footballer. He's still doing brilliantly. But then at the other end of it, with young footballers often seem a bit like, I was born into this. I was always going to be good. Then you get Willie Nonto, who is a teenager still, looking just as enthusiastic behind Ayling. And you love him just as much because you're like, look, he's just loving playing football.
Well, it's quite telling that the nominations have all centred around not just Willie's football ability, but it's all about how much he enjoyed it. Like the big grin with Gracia when we scored the third or fourth, says Josh, not sure which goal it was. And Grant Bacon saying that he enjoyed his tunnel celebration a la Alioski. So it's not just the footballing stuff, it's the people, isn't it?
Yeah, we just need more fun people in the team.
Holly did enjoy Rodrigo's giddy childlike celebrations as well.
Yep, perfect again. And and Dom saying if he stays fit, we'll be fine, which is probably about true. Because I'd probably back him to get another few goals this year.
Playing terribly, scoring all those goals.
Rubbish.
And I like Will Train's comment about Gracia as well. 3 goals from out wide and a goal from a corner. Eat my goal. That is Partridge, isn't it?
That is.
On the day today. Non-playing Leeds candidates, rather. Jaden, who you've done the article about on the blog, Rob.
The Malibu man.
The Malibu man who, if you missed it, surely you didn't. Jaden is the one who was at the very front of the Leeds away end at Wolves. The ball went out. He realised it was in his possession. He realised, I should run the clock down here, and then just let go of the ball by his feet, and then retreated with his arms in a I'm innocent, hands up cops kind of way. Just trotted off sideways like a crab. His
facial expression never changed throughout all of that, which I really admired. And then he had Wolves stewards screaming at him for 20 minutes as he described it, saying, "That's why I hope Leeds go down. Play everyone hates you."
It's beautiful because there's kind of a, if you look at what he did, there's a moment where he's going, I'm going to get in trouble for this, although there are no consequences. I'm not doing anything illegal.
But I'm not going to get a ban, am I?
Yeah, it's like the sort of, you can see the computation going on in his head as he walks away with his arms up by his side like that. Like nothing, wasn't me, sir.
I really liked the way he described it because he did sound like a professional footballer talking about like game management. He's like, I saw the ball coming to me and I thought, no, we need to kill some time. But they're wanting a quick throw in here. We're up against it. But well done, Jaden. And there's also a couple of stories from him in that blog post about how he got the Malibu man moniker from Phil Hay because he was trying to force drink him. Malibu at 10 a.m. on a train to Norwich.
Buckfast, isn't it? Always, if you take an emergency bottle of Buckfast with you, Phil will be right on it.
Yeah, here's me thinking he was just being professional on his way to work.
If you have it anywhere on a train, he'll find it.
Yeah,
you can sniff it out. It's like a Labrador,
like one of those drug dogs, but the reverse of that.
Yeah, because he
wants it.
Yeah, the drug dogs don't take the drugs, do they?
No.
At the end,
just find them.
Could be a treat from at the end.
You're very enthusiastic today, there, Rover.
Chatting away endlessly.
And on the train adventures, Jaden also spoke about Ben Parker stealing his kebab on the way home from Forest the other month. And Jaden's words were, "Fucking hell, it's my kebab. I wanted that."
In terms of non-Leeds candidates, then, anybody you want to pick out of the 18th of March? Michael Salisbury, Traore, Fulham, and the Magic 5-year-old.
House of Stoats nominates Traore for having the strength of 1,000 men, but the balance of a drunk parent who's just stepped on a Lego, which I quite enjoyed.
Very, very good. 18th of March, for obvious reasons, is now becoming Bill Ayling's Slaughtering Wolves Day.
Yeah, Marvin nominates Fulham, for, which what kind of was funny. He covers it. He says, "For giving me such a good chuckle, even though it's scum." Because having witnessed the Wolves meltdown, Fulham just went one up on it, didn't they? Because, I mean, it was a penalty, wasn't it? As much as I don't want to give scum penalties.
I think it was Neil Redfern tweeted something like, "Oh, shall we just give scum the cup now, shall we?" You think,
What's handball?
Yeah, they have sort of messed it up, really.
He has kind of handballed it on its way into the net. So, yeah, you've got to give them.
The only way I would have been happy with that happening is if that was the goalkeeper putting his hand out, because that's allowed, isn't it?
It's allowed.
Under the laws of the game.
But it means we're almost certainly not going to be playing Mitrovic when we face Fulham.
What do you think of that in terms of the ban? Do you think he should have a long, long ban? Or do you think he should be brought back just after we've played him?
Yeah, that.
I mean, whatever.
Four games, I think it is, would see him banned for. I'd let him play while his appeal goes through for 3 games, say.
Yeah.
And then ban him for a game, and then they call it a day.
I mean, I was thinking maybe, like, is a lifetime ban too long? Should we say a year? Just retrospectively for smashing Ben White's face in, even though Ben White isn't ours anymore, and therefore we can't love him like we used to.
I'd say he's free to smash Ben White's face in now.
Morally speaking, I mean, yeah.
I mean, don't.
I mean, he's unlikely to, is he? Because he won't be playing. But he has a knobhead, isn't he, Mitrovic? That's always been his problem.
Yeah. Short fuse. Michael Salisbury does deserve commending for his excellent handling of the game. Although he did miss things, didn't he? Like, I'm sure he should have sent off, what's his face, who got taken off at half-time, Dawson, for trying to break Jackie.
Yeah, I mean, Yankee Doodle Batley does still refer to him as the dickhead ref.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, I think. But yeah, for telling the twats at Stockley Park that they're twats, which, yeah, right.
So yeah, it actually helped to put David Coote back in his box, didn't he? Yeah. Fair enough. Any more, Bim, before we give the award? Who's the Magic 5-year-old?
Boney M's nominated his own. He thinks he's created a magic child.
Right.
He says, we're watching the game on the radio and she kept whinging. To get her to stop, I said she could have a chocolate if Leeds score. 20 seconds later, Ayling nods in. What the fuck, we don't score from corners. This happened 2 more times. I now owe her £50 and a new Barbie. Totally worth it.
I love it. It's just kind of, you got to that point where it's like when you start out with your kid, like, I'm not going to feed him chicken nuggets. I'm going to cook them whole foods every day.
Yeah.
By the time they're 18 months old, it's Macca's every weekend. Easy, isn't it?
It's dead hard, isn't it?
What parenting? Hard work.
Yeah, it's really difficult. For so little thanks. That's what, in the way of thanks.
Yeah. Have yours ever thanked you? What are they now? 8 yours? 9?
9.
Yeah.
Ish. I know Angus Kinnear feels. No one ever says thank you. People just get cross with you. I suppose the chicken nuggets are the equivalent of a dirty toilet in the cop. I don't know. You just get what you get, stuff that's not good for you in the end, as a result of your moaning.
You got there in the end. Well done. If it's a Magic 5-year-old, get him off to Hogwarts. That's all we can say. Get him off to Hogwarts. Who's your winner?
I'd go Jaden because he's my mate. But you know,
we didn't even talk about Wobber. He was top of the list. He was like, well, up at the top of the list with Ayling because he was good, wasn't he? It was kind of boring to just say he was good. But yeah, he just did loads of defensive stuff well. He's very proactive as a defender, isn't he? Like, he seems to always be the one going for stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes it feels a bit like when everyone's standing off, he just is always the one throwing himself in there and trying to get in front of the man to get the ball off him and stuff. It feels like we don't have a defender quite like him. Cooper does it to an extent, but sometimes fouls people.
I've made my phone and also my computer, if I type the word Wobber now, I've told it to autocorrect. I've told it to put the umlaut in over the O. So if I type Wobber, it automatically adds him in. That's how much I care for him and respect him. Wow. But I saw there's a good thread about him on Wacko. I think somebody described him as looking like a supermarket manager. You can imagine him walking around Lidl with a clipboard. He's got that kind of air about him.
Yeah, he's a very ordinary looking man, isn't he? But I like that about him.
Yeah. He looks a lot like Paul Dano, doesn't he? The actor.
Oh, I don't know, actually. I'll have to look up that.
I don't know who that is, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the same sentimental value as Ayling, does it?
No, not really.
So is it Ayling on sentimental value and smiles, or Wobber on being good at his job?
Give it to Ayling.
Yeah.
His time's ticking down at Leeds, isn't it?
No, Rob's
don't be
giving
like
him
that.
another 10-year contract.
Even if he wants to retire, I'm still picking him.
Well,
so.
you're allowed overage players in the under 23s, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, just scum do that, don't they? They'll get like someone who's lost all respect for themselves to just play for the under 21s. Is it Paul McShane that do
Are you
it?
suggesting we shame him when he's in the last stage?
I don't
of
think
his career?
it's a shame though. I think
He just
Ayling's
has-
a role model, so I think they need to learn from someone like that.
Yeah.
It's Luke Ayling, isn't it?
Yeah. Give us a bill.
It reminded me of a happier time as well when he scored that and went off dancing off and celebrating. It was lovely, wasn't it? It was a nice
Happier
feeling.
time a year ago.
I was thinking more sort of the years that preceded that,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest. But it's Luke Ayling, lovely. He's our Gitana Baradi Hero of the Week. Oh, bless him.
He did have some nominations too for his interview he'd done during the week as well, which was
of course,
which was also nice. But it's all part of the Bill experience, is that, isn't it? That you get to feel, you get all the feels, the happy feels, the sad feels, but mainly you get the feeling Ayling's just enjoying himself, which is all any of us want.
And it's what all of us have had this week. Long may it continue.
And no games for a minute this weekend either, so we can take this, we can just roll this feeling on until Arsenal give us a right good pasting.
If we lose to Arsenal, we hate everything again.
Exactly.
Right, that wraps it up for this week. We've got more stuff on the way, including the Leeds Women's Plate final preview. That's coming up. Check out the Extra Ball this week as well when we chat to Olivia from the Leeds Women, our sponsored player. And we've got some more stuff on the way too. Look out for it. We'll see you soon.